Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Monday's weather will be cloudy with a high of 78 degrees. Bye.
The word of the week is ferocious. Ferocious means extremely intense or very scary actions.
Science trivia time. One morning, Ryan noticed there were tiny drops of water on the grass as he walked to school. That afternoon, he did not see any drops of water on the grass when he returned home. Which of the following best explains what happened to the drops of water? A. The heat from the air caused the water drops to boil. B. The air cooled the water and caused the drops to freeze. C. The sun heated the water and caused the drops to evaporate. D. The energy from the sun caused the water drops to condense. To answer the science trivia question, go to the Media Center Google Classroom. The link is there.
Hi Eagles, this is Miss Bennett. We are kicking off Celebrate Literacy Week. This week's theme is Humanity Tells a Story. What's your chapter? We'll be focusing on civics. Last week, during the inauguration, there was a poet named Amanda Gorman, and she recited a poem, The Hill We Climb. When I heard this poem, I thought it would complement this week's theme because her poem talks about hope, unity, and healing. I especially like the ending when she asked if we will step out of the shade to see the light and if we are brave enough to be the light. So enjoy the poem as we kick off Celebrate Literacy Week.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. In the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it. would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Tomorrow is Team Up Tuesday. Wear your favorite team jersey to score with reading.
One easy way we can make sure to keep ourselves and our school safe is by wearing our mask correctly. Always make sure your mask is 2 or more layers. It completely covers your mouth and nose, and it fits snugly with no gaps on the side.